Lana,
Hi,
oh
what's
my,
up, man?
you look gorgeous as ever.
Oh,
And
Thank
lady,
that's
you.
beautiful. Hi, Lana.
Hi, how's it going?
Fine, thank you. I'm Carolyn Smith, Brandon's mom. He was going to introduce
Okay.
me, but I think he's taken aback about you so beautiful.
yeah,
And he hadn't seen you in a while, and so he go ahead.
Lana, it's great to see you. First off,
Yeah.
I am recording right now.
Okay.
Welcome to the Buckle Up Podcast universe
Let's go.
with Lana Harris, uh, Brandon Rush, and Mama Rush, my mom Carolyn.
Okay. They call me mommy. Well, Mama Rush.
Mama Rush,
Yeah,
yeah.
Mama
Okay.
Rush on the podcast. That's who I
I
am.
love that.
Okay.
Yeah, Lana. First off, thank you so much for coming on today. I'm so excited for you. I've followed your career at least since WLTX, right?
Yeah, and that was the beginning.
Oh, is it really?
That was my first move. Yeah, Columbia, South Carolina.
That's at the University of Georgia, right?
Yeah, from college. Yeah, went to Columbia, South Carolina. So that was the very beginning. It feels like a lifetime ago. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Well, you've done really well for yourself. So it was just to make sure I want to get into everything, but you went from WLTX to Charlotte, right?
Jacksonville, Florida was first. So I went from college to Columbia. I know. College to Columbia, South Carolina, Columbia to Jacksonville, Jacksonville to Charlotte, Charlotte to Atlanta, and now here we are.
You've absolutely killed it and done a phenomenal job doing that. Like I'm so
Thanks.
proud of you. I tell everybody that I know you. But so Lana, here's my question for you. I want to kind of start from the beginning. You're originally from Georgia, right?
Yeah, Clayton County. So it's kind of a suburb, basically a little bit south of the city of Atlanta.
Okay.
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
And then did you know that you wanted to be a news anchor back then? How do you go from wanting to be a girl from Georgia?
Yeah.
The South.
You know what? It's crazy. I actually wanted to be a model. I wanted to be a singer. I can't really sing. I wanted to be an actress. You
Yeah.
couldn't convince me I wasn't going to be on America's Next Top Model.
Okay.
And my mom was like, no. She said, you could probably do it. She wasn't, trying to be discouraging or anything, but she was like, you need to pick something realistic. You need to go to college. You need to have a job.
Yeah.
And I had only focused on school. Like I wanted to be a good student. I had all A's, and
Oh, wow.
that's all I really ever focused on. I was in AP courses. I did kind of like a dual enrollment, college and high school, my last year, my senior year. So I always focused on being smart, but I didn't know what I wanted to do. So we had this broadcasting class at Lovejoy High School, which is where I went to high school. And she's like, well, you like your broadcasting class. Do you want to do that? And I was like, well, is that realistic? And she said, yeah, you can do that. So I was like, okay, well, and then the rest is history. UGA had a great broadcasting program. So yeah, the rest was history.
So wow, that's amazing. Wait, Lana, were you on scholarship at University of Georgia, or did you just?
Yeah, I had an academic scholarship that paid for the majority of it. And I don't really know how the finances, because I still have student loans somehow. I don't know.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
But yeah.
So you're a bulldog. You're a Georgia bulldog.
Don't make me do the chant, because I know you went to USC.
Well, I'm a Gamecock, Lana, but I forgive you.
I know, and I forgive you too.
Yeah. Okay. Wait. So your mom was very inspirational in you. Your mom was. You knew what you wanted to do. You knew that the Lord blessed you with a bunch of different gifts and talents. But you obviously are extremely smart and work very hard. Yeah.
I thought, because honestly, a lot of different jobs interested me. I wanted to be a lawyer. I wanted to be a judge. I wanted to be in the military. I wanted to do all types of things.
Yeah.
And what I thought was really cool about journalism is you kind of do get to see a lot of it. Like I've been on a military base. I've covered court way more than anybody would want to cover court. I've covered, I've been to all sorts of scenes where, like let's say there's a hurricane or a tornado, like you as a journalist get to go in those areas. So you're almost like a first responder too. So it's, you get to go into all these different areas of life. So it's really fascinating. You get to see everything,
Absolutely, man. That's so Lana, you guys hit me with a bunch of different things there, which I love. What was, because you said that you're right, you have to put on all these different hats. You're a first responder, you're there. I'm not sure, I don't think you went to a war zone that I know about. You might have.
No. That's one place you will not see me in a war zone.
We don't need you over there.
Smart.
Absolutely. What, Lana, for you, out of what was maybe one of the most my mom had a question, which was, I think, two things. There's two parts to the things you said. One, probably for me, would be, what was one of the scariest experiences you had doing? What is something that you went on that sticks with you? Was kind of her question. And
that's good. That's a good question, Brandon, because I was thinking about you as you stated that you've been here and there, as Brandon mentioned, and you mentioned, and I want to know when you're, well, I know you've had to deal with the cold, the hot weather, all kinds of seasons. Did they start you out? And I remember Anchor in Richmond, Virginia, where Brandon was born. And she had a raincoat and it was pouring rain outside. And she was trying to tell us what was going on, the tornadoes coming. So tell me a little bit about those scary times that you've had to deal with.
Yeah, it's funny. Okay, so when it comes to severe weather coverage, that is something that all news stations are going to, really go hard on, mostly because we are talking about saving lives at this point. It's information that people need to know. Is a hurricane coming my way? Do I need to evacuate or not? You know what I mean? So that's going to be really, really hard coverage. The where it gets funny is, you ever see news stations just go hard on all the milk and the bread is gone from the grocery store, and then all these places are boarded up. As a reporter, you're kind of like, it gets exhausting, that part of it, because it's like you're in the lead up just waiting for something to happen. And we recognize as news people, like, nothing's happening right now. We're in a grocery store talking about milk and bread for, 45 minutes. But it's just kind of showing everybody who maybe hadn't seen it the first time you said it. Maybe they just tuned in the 35th time you said it. So you have to keep saying it over and over and over again, just so people are all on the same page. But then you get there, and when it's happening, I don't know, you're so in it that you don't really realize how scary it is. You're trying to record everything. It's almost, I don't want to say it's cool, but like the power of nature is really just fascinating. You know what I mean? Like when I was walking through it was really a disaster zone at that point. I think it was it was Hilton Head Island that got messed up. This is in South Carolina. Oh man, was it? I can't remember what the name was. It might have been Ian. I can't remember.
Sorry, I can't help you.
But I mean,
at this point,
I was on this marina, and the boats were all just like, tangled up within each other, trees down, like trees that felt like dominoes. And, you're the first person that gets to see all this stuff, because usually those areas are still blocked off from the public. In fact, in that case, nobody could get onto Hilton Head Island, and the cars were just backed up for miles of people who were trying to get back on, but it wasn't safe yet. And what happened? All the gas stations were out of gas for miles. So people had come in and got stuck. I mean, it was crazy. So it's honestly really cool to me getting to see all that stuff and just share it with people. Like, we're your eyes and ears, because we're allowed to go. We're not in the way of the first responders who are potentially still trying to help people and clear things out. But it's like, hey, is my house still there? Is the grocery store still there? Is, and then the people who stayed behind. I mean, those people, it is crazy talking to those people, because it's like, what was it like? So, from that extreme to like, maybe something has happened where there was a shooting in a neighborhood. Maybe it's not the best neighborhood. That it gets, I guess it's not scary, only because you have a job to do, and you're thinking more about the job than the situation you're in. And there's good and bad to that, because sometimes it's a situation where it really is scary. Journalists will find themselves in a very scary situation. It's happened to people that I know where they've gotten hurt, or their lives were in danger. They've had to duck, they've had to hide, they've had to do certain things to be safe. We had a situation at my last station where there was somebody who seemed to be transient, of someone who didn't have a home, who'd gone up to them and had quite literally held them hostage of
Holy
sorts.
smokes.
Like, it happened here in Atlanta. What happened? I think they were parked at like a sheriff's office or somewhere that you would assume that would be safe. A lot of the time, if it's an area that's not safe, you'll go live from the sheriff's department if it's crime stories, because you don't want to be there at night. And somebody had come up and had basically, told them like that they couldn't leave, and the sheriff's office, an officer came by, and that person said, "We're good," and that person was not supposed to be there. I mean, it was Google it. It was a whole situation. It was crazy. It happened at my station. I know it. And it was like, my gosh, yeah. So you really do get put in some situations that are wild. But again, you're on a deadline. Every single day you're on a deadline. So you're just thinking about, what do I need to do? What do I need to do? What do I need to do? And then the deadline happens and you do your story and you're like, okay, I'm done. Now you got to do it again tomorrow. So you almost don't think about the danger in you sometimes. Wow, I just talked for a long time. I'm sorry.
No. This is what we want. You have no time limit. You're great. Because I didn't know that. I didn't know that you guys, if it's a dangerous situation, that like if it's a dangerous neighborhood, that you're at the police station. I never knew that.
Yeah. Sometimes if it's daytime or if the police are still there, you can go. But sometimes, your team will send you and just say, let us know if you feel like you're in danger. And then you have this pressure to not say you feel like you're in danger because you don't want to not do your job. So it's something that you really do wrestle with. How much danger am I in versus can I get the story? And honestly, in those situations, it's hard anyway. It takes a special kind of person to navigate that because you're talking to someone on what's probably the worst day of their life.
Yeah.
And then you're asking them to go on camera and say how they feel about it. What would you think? And it's so hard because you feel like you don't want to be exploiting someone's pain, and it feels like that sometimes. But also on the other hand of it, you've got someone who might have just lost someone, and it's like, let's share who they were. Let's talk about them with the community. Let's what'd you love about this person? Who do we just lose in our community? This person meant something to you. Let's talk about him. So it's such a balancing act trying to tell someone like, hey, I'm on your side here. I just want to share whatever you're willing to share. Maybe there's somebody to be on the lookout for. Did you see something on your camera? Can we say this is a suspect information that is going to maybe bring you justice? So it's an interesting job for sure.
Okay. Lana, one thing you said was it takes a special person. So what you're saying is it takes a person like Lana Harris.
And the many, many other journalists out there who are doing a fantastic job.
There are many other ones, but there's only one Lana Harris. And she's the person that's willing to go that has gone that distance and has done exactly and brought the human element to it. So that it takes a person, that special person's name happens to be Lana Harris.
You're too kind. You're too kind.
I'm just speaking the truth. I speak my mind 24/7, not turning off for anybody.
Lana, I want to ask another question. Tell me about some happy times because I see that beautiful smile on your face and I can feel that spirit through this camera. And so tell me about some really happy times growing up in a family, any siblings, but growing up in that family. Then we'll go back to the news. That type okay?
Happy times in my life.
Hopefully you had happy times.
Isn't that crazy that I'm like, what's happy about my life? That's not, no, I've had some really cool travels, honestly. I'm really into traveling. That's actually kind of what's next for me, but we won't get into that just yet. But I have had the best time just seeing different areas, even in my job. Like I've lived in different cities, so you get to experience different cities and different cultures and different people. And the happiest times, I would say, my family, not my whole family, but a lot of them just went on this cruise to Alaska. And it was so fun. And the most fun I feel like I've had, has been like just traveling or just being with my family, since I do travel so much. That's Christmases that I've missed and Thanksgivings that I've missed, and just so many times where you have these life moments by yourself because you're in a different city and you can't get there. Maybe you're working on Christmas. So just anytime I've been able to actually be with my family has been really cool.
Awesome. Lana, I think, I'm not sure my memory is good, but did your mom work for like Delta Airlines or something? Because I remember you saying you went to Spain.
She works for Delta. I know, right? That's crazy. Great memory. She actually was the CFO of this law firm. And when she got to be, I don't even remember how old she was, but sadly, the main lawyer that was his law firm passed away. It was one of her great friends, and she was an adult. I think I in my 20s when this adult, so she was an adult, and he just said, what do I want? And she said, travel. She was like, be a friend. And she just chose because she wanted for free the job. High stakes, zero, not it's just easy. But for her lifestyle, like a change of pace, and loving it. She's, zipping around everywhere these days. And it's like, man, that's awesome.
Absolutely. Jet setter.
Yeah.
That's totally cool. Because memory is pretty good. I was like, because you said something like, oh, that's right. She used to travel. So that's awesome that she went from being, well, that's unfortunate that she lost that dear friend that had lost her. But I guess in him passing, something beautiful opened up. Maybe him looking from beyond the grave and like, hey, you know what? You were meant to travel and be this beautiful person.
Yeah.
Your daughter also traveling.
Exactly. So now I'm traveling off my mom. I'm like, that's right, Mom. You better work for Delta. Give me some flight benefits.
Seriously.
Does she still work for Delta? Is she still
She does.
there?
Oh, does she?
She's still there. Yeah.
And that's
she's
a
still
big
liking
airport.
it.
Man.
That airport is huge.
Something
it's
else.
A city. Yes.
I gotta say, I'm not bashing Delta because I fly Delta, but every time, because I always usually fly from here to Los Angeles or from here to New York, I have to go through Atlanta. I barely make my flight each time. That's because like in the local areas over here, like South Carolina, where I'm at right now, it's the flight leaves late. And so by the time they're already boarding, they're at like row 5 or whatever. And so I'm like sprinting like Macaulay Culkin's family in Home Alone to get to the Delta, like the Delta terminal.
Yeah, it's a beast, that airport.
Absolutely.
And then I wanted to hear a happy story in news reporting or being an anchor. Tell me one of the most, something that really touched your heart, made you feel good inside. The career you chose was the right answer. Okay. You might have many.
Best story.
Okay.
I actually have two that come to mind. The first one was one that was supposed to be just a nothing burger story. It was back in Columbia, South Carolina, and they were having a Veterans Day parade. I think it was for, oh my gosh, the Vietnam War. That's what it was. And it was just, great, Veterans Day parade. Wonderful. I'm the reporter and I'm going. So, I went out there and I did it, and I was talking to all the veterans out there, and it was just like a run-of-the-mill story. And I did get to have some really fascinating conversations with them because, again, I considered going into the military. I literally did ROTC in college, just for like a semester.
Okay.
Didn't sign up, but I was there. I was in the woods doing all the same stuff, PT in the morning. So, so I've always had like a heart for our military members in that sense. But like, talking to their stories are so fascinating because you don't often hear about it, either because it was tough and they don't want to talk about it, or because you just may not know anybody who was there. You know what I mean? These were people who were in their later years. And so it's always fascinating talking to people like that. But at the same time, it was just a parade. The next day after the parade, someone calls the newsroom. I'm there on a Sunday and says, Lana, someone's on the phone for you. And I'm thinking, oh God, what did I do? I'm a new journalist at this point. And it was one of the veterans that I had talked to. And he said, I just wanted to thank you so much for doing that story. Nobody's ever put me on TV before. And when we came back, they were so nasty to us. You remember back the Vietnam War, people did not want to be there.
They looked down.
Our military members who were there got the flack for it, even though they were just over there serving. They came home and they were not treated well. So he was so touched. He said, this is the first time anybody's ever said thank you. We've never been acknowledged here in this city. He's like, I've lived here my whole life. I was like, man, especially because I was thinking this was just a nothing burger assignment. It's just a parade. But it meant so much to him. And that like really sat with me forever, because it's like a story that you think, for you, it's just a story. For someone else, it's everything to them. And that happened to me in the beginning of my career. And that really touched me, because I got to be that for him. And I was putting together a story, and I've touched his whole life. It was crazy.
It's you were all that your mom telling you back in the day, hey, Lana, these are kind of the steps you should take. And then your professor, in high school, being like, hey, broadcast journalism is something you can go into. All that led you towards that gentleman that was a Vietnam War veteran.
Exactly. And I really feel like I had a heart for it generally. So my dad died when I was 11. And the situation itself was different. I had just really met him again for the first time in like 10 years. And we were just starting a foster relationship, and he like died at like the end of that year. It was honestly, it was nuts. And going through grief that young, I really feel like it profoundly changed me. I don't even think people realize how much kids are changed by like an early death, because it changed everything, honestly, for me. Just all these issues, abandonment issues, all these things you have to work through over the years because you don't really know, you're kind of like, I guess it's just people just die. I mean, you don't, when you're a kid, you think like, oh, the world's about you. When you're a kid, you don't even like, you got blinders on. So it's a reality that hits hard. And I think that really helped me in this career because I don't know why, but it felt like I was always able to get interviews from people who had lost someone, even though, again, it's like an impossible situation going up to someone and saying, hey, your son just died. Do you want to talk about it? Your mom just died. Do you want to talk about it? But it felt like my grief was so much more profoundly hurtful to me. No one else's grief can get to that level. So it doesn't hurt me as much, where, other people talk about death and it feels a little bit scary, or it feels a little bit like, oh, I don't want to talk about it. I've gone through that before. So it's like, I can come to you and I know what you're going through. I know how this feels. Absolutely. And I can come to you with a sort of respect where it's like, look, I know that this is like the worst situation. Do you want to talk about this person or not? Do you want to share this person with the world? Do you want to share anything about the situation with the community? It's trying to have a heart versus just going in, oh, we need a soundbite for the news. It's so much more than that. And I really feel like my own empathy for myself, helped me understand, the empathy for other people and what that was like and whatnot. Absolutely. So, I don't even know if I answered the question. Am I rambling?
So you did. I'm going to hit two things because I'm going to get to your second story, but I just want to say something about your grief. Lana, when I lost my dad, to pancreatic cancer, I said it right that time.
Yeah, you said it right.
Thank you. When I lost my dad to pancreatic cancer, I had to deal with the grief by myself that has profoundly changed my life.
Yeah.
But and it's taken me forever to get back to myself. I never thought I'd be able to get back to the happy-go-loving person I am, but I have come across other people since losing my dad, people that lost their dad to cancer because I lost my dad to cancer, that I've been able to connect with that grief. I'm able to understand what they're going through. We had a lady on here, Siobhan O'Connor, who was my executive producer and writer in Blue Bloods. A week after my dad passed away, I couldn't. We were in New York. That's my dad. My mom first took me to New York. I was on set, and I was like, "Please, just no one mention my dad," because I was going to break down crying because I was holding him one day. And she came up and said, "Brandon, Joe told me about your dad," and I felt like the tears started to go. But what she ended up doing was being the perfect person I needed to console me. She helped me through my grief because she brought up she had lost her dad not too long before that, I guess. And she sat down with me, held the whole entire set. And we just had a connection. And then I didn't have any more tears after that. Then I just had a grief after that kind of stuff. But I was fine and able to get through the work. So I just wanted to say that I understand when the person goes through, everybody suffers grief a different way. There's no time limit on it whatsoever. But to get back to your story, you said you had two stories. That was the one with the veteran, which was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
The memory's on point, people. The memory's on point.
That memory, man. Yeah. The other one was just, okay, so it was not stupid, but people were having water problems. And I don't know what city this was in, but their water was coming out of their faucet and it was brown. Okay. And they were being told, oh, the water's fine. You can drink it. And it was literally brown, disgusting looking water. And they were having these problems for, I don't know, it way longer than you'd want water problems. And nobody would listen to them. Nobody would care. It was a whole community going through this. And the news gets involved and suddenly things start moving and shaking. And it was the first time I realized, like, man, I'm helping people, people who have been banging down the door of whatever county they live in or whatever city they live in and has been ignored because they're just a person writing into the county hoping somebody listens. Now you got the news, like, we will put you on blast if you don't go fix these people's water. So it was really cool being like, man, I've always been a loudmouth. Let me be a loudmouth for you. Let me get that water fixed, girl.
Let's go. Oh my God. I absolutely love that. And then I also, one thing that I remember too, back in, I think it was around 2018 or so, you were actually ahead of the curve because you already were doing reporting on your phone and cell phone. You were doing all this that people are catching up to, 7 years later or so? You were ahead of the game. You were pre-doing that.
Thanks.
My
Oh
memory,
my
people.
gosh.
My memory.
Boy,
Yeah.
you ought to go on a game show or something.
I
This
know.
is crazy. Yeah.
But you were ahead of the game. You were a pioneer in that field. You're already ahead of it. And where you're stepping into, I'm telling you, you're already ahead of the curve.
Yes.
Man, thank you for that. I wish I would have kept going with that because it would have probably taken off. You're right. Because I started, man, that was a long time ago. I think it was called Lana with the Lowdown is what it was. And I
Yeah.
would just do news stories. That's what it was. And so I think I always just thought, the news can be very boring. The delivery, the stories itself, it can be so boring. But I always felt like people should be informed. Like you should know what's going on around you. So how do I make it interesting enough for you to want to listen to it? Because
Absolutely.
I need you to know what's going on. So you're not, heads not in the sand or anything. But like, let's not bore you to tears or like make it feel like, you're watching paint dry. Just to figure out what's going on. So,
Absolutely.
I thought, you add a little humor. I kind of think I'm funny. I don't know.
You are. No, you are. You're actually the best. Like, I see you kind of. Go ahead, Shane. I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, please. Yeah, no, that's great.
I saw that you're doing it because I was looking. I keep up with your page pretty regularly. I saw that you were doing. You're starting to bring that back, and it's amazing. So don't stop doing that. Like, it's going to take off. I know it's going to take off. I believe in you. I know my mom believes in you. I'm speaking for her.
Oh, thank you guys.
Lana, when did you feel that it was time for you to move forward to higher ground, to higher heights? When did you get that little feeling that you knew it's time to change?
Like as far as anchoring, to be on like an anchoring stage.
Yeah.
Maybe you're a star, they say. Prince.
We could have done a whole episode on that journey alone because it was not easy.
We can, Lana.
We can. You can do whatever you want. When you own it, you can do whatever you want. That's right.
Gosh dang right.
Don't knock my head right off.
Lana, this is just part one of everything. So we'll get into all of it, I promise.
Yeah. It was not easy. I always wanted to be an anchor. And I was told to be a good anchor, you got to be a reporter first. And honestly, I really liked reporting. Like when you start out, everything's so new. Again, like I never wanted to be like at a desk just doing desk work. I wanted to be out just doing all types of random stuff every single day. And that's what I was doing as a reporter. But I always just I just had a feeling I just wanted to be an anchor. And everybody told me no. Everybody told me I wasn't good enough. Everybody told me well, you got to do this and that. I mean, I was jumping through all sorts of hoops to get there. And so something just deep down, I was hearing I wasn't good enough. I was hearing, all this stuff just from management because it was crazy. My mom, of course, my friends, my coworkers, the community, I get such good feedback. Like, man, I love watching you. And then the decision makers at the top were just not convinced. They were just, and it's like, man, I feel like I'm good. I feel like what am I missing here? And I would, it would hurt my self-esteem. It would help. I would doubt myself all the time. But at the same time, I just believe that they were wrong. Like, I just don't believe that. So how do I figure out how to convince you? That's my whole career. How do I convince you? Oh, another hurdle. How do I get over this? How do I get over this? I mean, it was every step of the way. From my first job, my second job, things would just happen where, somebody would hire me and then they would leave and then the next person wouldn't want me to do what the other person told me. Or, it just like random things would happen. It was like a pressure cooker in a way because I was constantly needing to prove myself. So I had to be on it every step of the way. You know what I mean? So I learned a lot in my journey of trying to convince people to give me positions. And then I was always just trying to figure out how to turn things into a yes. So if you don't want me to anchor, I'm going to go try to see if I can practice on the weekend. I'll make a little reel. I'll ask you what's wrong with this so that you can tell me what to fix. I sat in people's offices. Okay, what's wrong this time? What's wrong this time? What's wrong this time? Oh, I need you to do this. Oh, I need you to do this. Even as other reporters who were getting these fill-in opportunities to anchor were saying, they're not asking us to do this. I don't know why they're making you do all this. I don't know either. But I guess I'm going to do it because I got to get over here. So it was just, I always felt like I could do it. And I think I don't really know what pushed me or what made me feel like that as I was like getting like beat up by the no's and the disappointments.
I know how you feel, Lana.
I know you know how I feel.
Don't worry, I'm gonna get hyped in a second. Don't worry. I'm just you're getting me so hyped right now. I'm here to listen.
I know you know how it you know how it is. Like,
keep going, Lana. Don't worry. You're dealing with Lana, keep going, but you're dealing with small-minded people that are trying to pigeonhole you into something that you aren't. And like, I'm going to go into my rant, but I want you to completely say that everything that you have to say, because I know how you feel. But continue. You knew that you had the talent. God gave you the talent. You saw, when you have faith and you have God on your side, in my belief, whether you're religious or not, you have it in you. You know that you had it. You had it the whole entire time. There were people that sometimes are scared of that and are afraid of that. So they try to keep you pigeonholed into this little thing that you're not. One of the reasons I started Buckle Up Podcast Universe was to let everybody know it is my time and I'm done playing small. I'm out of the little pond, and now we're going globally. But it's like, I've been very blessed. I've worked with amazing people in my career. I absolutely love them. I would not be here without the casting community. I would not be here without every director, crew member, agent that gave me an opportunity. A lot of people didn't give me an opportunity, but casting directors and casting associates were like, Brandon, we see you bigger than what you're doing. So I played all those parts, and I still play those parts today, which is great. I'm not too big-headed for anything. But I realized at one point, I was like, man, I've stripped for Betty White before. Not many people can say they work. Yeah. And it's like, and then,
crazy.
Thank you. And it's like, I've worked on all these huge shows. I've worked on Power. I've been on Blue Bloods. I've been on Criminal Minds. I've done 75 TV shows and movies. And yet I'm still trying to be stepped on. People don't even know that I'm funny. And I book funny stuff all the time. So, so it's like, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to create this. I've been telling Mom that I've been telling my friends I've been going full Killmonger, but not completely, because I still have like the T'Challa sides where I'm not on a complete like warpath, but I have a point to prove. And so we got 1.6 million people watching our show, and 265,000 people tuning in, because I had a point to prove, because I had a chip on my shoulder. Just like Lana Harris is that person who I believe, you had that. When you were talking, honestly, I was saying preach, because I felt your heart. I know what you've gone through. I know what it's like to get over it. I'm glad you stepped out. That's why I'm stepping out of LA, because I'm like, I'm going on to the next chapter. Sorry, Mom, I can't calm down, because I'm turned up.
I'm going to calm you down. So, I'm calming you down because I want to tell you both something. A well doesn't belong in a lake, a pond. A well belongs in the ocean. And everything moves aside when that well comes through. And so God he comes into your spirit, and he talks to you, and he said, my wells cannot be here in these little spaces. So therefore he makes you feel uncomfortable so that you can continue to make a difference and move forward. So you're in oceans. And so you have so much to do, so many things to impact, and people will move, let's say in the ocean, the fish, the sharks, they all move aside when the whale comes. But God gave you that spirit to know it. Yeah. And therefore you have to continue to make that difference. So that's why you knew it was time to go. Yeah. That's how I've always felt in my life.
You are spot on, because I was just telling somebody this the other day. I feel like each move I've made felt amazing. I was so excited, and I felt like I was going to do all this stuff, and at a certain point it starts to feel like you don't fit anymore. It starts to feel uncomfortable, and I feel like at a certain point when you're supposed to move on, things might really just start to get toxic, to where you're like, I just don't really fit here anymore. I think now that's your key to move on. Like, I think you're done here. You have learned everything you could from this place. Exactly. And you are being pushed out. I'm going to make you as uncomfortable as you possibly can be, to let you know you're not supposed to be here anymore. Yeah. And when I tell you people made me uncomfortable, they made me real uncomfortable.
Yeah. Lana, if you need me to come down there and talk to some people, I got you. If you need me to, I love this. I got you back.
But I can see you both. I can see the difference you're making, and I am so happy for you. You're young, you're beautiful people, you have beautiful spirits, both of you, and I just love when I see God just put that in people and in my children and in you. And I don't know if you have any siblings, but your mom, you have some sisters, Lana?
I have a stepsister, and I have a brother, and I have a stepbrother, and a half brother. We're all over the place.
Okay.
Got a couple.
Well, I want this well. I want you as well now to make that difference again.
Absolutely.
So I can't wait to see the next chapters.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're writing. Oh, well, we're doing what episodes?
Yeah, it's Lana. As I said, we're doing seasons, so you're able to come back anytime you want. I'm excited for you. Please talk to me about anything. We're here for it. We have the connections. We have people coming in, but yeah, I'm excited too because I already were seeing. I'm like, what Lana is doing is already. You already were ahead of the curve with the back in 2018 when you were doing the Lana Lowdown. You were already ahead of the time with the Lana Lowdown. You felt that you gone through those things where you said you felt that pressure cooker, like, and you're moving on to the next chapter, which is going to be great. That's why I'm moving to New York because I'm like, I can't. It's no longer. This isn't for me anymore. I'm ready for the next level. And also, oh my gosh, I had something that I tell you, and I lost it for a second.
That's quite all right. Lana, let me tell. Oh, you got it?
No, I don't have it yet.
That's how I feed off.
Oh wait, no, you're gonna get. But whatever next steps you're gonna take is gonna be great because I remember you already whatever it is because you have everything within you. You already have. It's just whatever you choose to do, and you have the support of me. You have the support of the whole entire Buckle Up universe, and you have the support of your family and your friends and those people that love you that know that you're great. I mean, I've already seen you. I don't know whatever it is, but I saw all those people you're interviewing. I think you interviewed like Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan, didn't you?
Yeah.
Kevin
Costner? Man,
Kevin Costner?
yes. I know. I know, like me. Exactly. I'm like, man, I'm basically talking to Whitney Houston because he was with her in The Bodyguard, and I'm basically talking to I mean, it was crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've had a lot of interviews where I'm like, I can't believe this is my life.
You deserve it, but you play it cool though, right? Like you're like you don't.
You
let it go.
gotta play it cool. Yeah. You all right. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, that's so awesome.
It's just like they're just treating them like they're. That's one thing. Celebrities really are just people, and I know that because people sometimes think I'm a celebrity. I'm like, wait a minute, I know. I'm wearing like a can I get a side of ranch hoodie? You know what I mean? Like I'm a regular person, so it really is just like. There is.
Yeah, she's awesome.
Lana,
I mean, you're a star. That's why there's a song Prince called "Baby I'm a Star," which is in the Purple Rain movie. It's because before he blew up, he knew that he was going to be a star, and he literally had a song called "Baby I'm a Star" in that Purple Rain movie. And where he ended up traveling to, he saw it. Not everybody else did, but he was calling it in advance, and so I'm already calling it for you. You're calling it for yourself. That is amazing. So if you don't mind me asking about the celebrities, I remember I forgot the Kevin Costner one, but I remember who's amazing. Like him, you did basically meet Whitney Houston.
yeah.
Who else did you meet? Well, I know you've met a lot of people. Would you maybe talk about some of the people you met? Did you think of off the bat?
Off the bat, let me see. Where I was like, man, this is crazy. Oh, what? Oh my gosh, and she did Blink twice. Lenny Kravitz's kid with Zoe Kravitz. Oh my god, I couldn't even remember her. How do I not remember
it's
Zoe
all
Kravitz?
Good.
Oh, so nice. Let me see here because we've had like so many. It's like hard to.
It's all good. No worries.
Remember these people.
As I said, you'll come back. This is part one.
If I pulled up some pictures, when I come back, I'll just have a whole list.
It works for me, and we'll have the updates. Yeah, it's because I mean you've been absolutely wonderful. So I don't want you to think, I got to get everything. As many times. Hey B, I'm ready to keep up. As I said, because when you own it, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, Lana, the reason I craft certain questions certain ways with different people that we have interviewed is because I'm a scientist and very detail oriented. And I remember when the Lord made me get very uncomfortable in a job. And I thought I was going to go back on that job. And the Lord took out my back. Do you understand? I got up one morning and I couldn't walk. And I said, what in the world is going on here? And the Lord spoke to me and he said, I told you to move forward. You cannot continue to stay here. So all of a sudden, my back went out and I was walking over like this. I was done. Whoa. Had to have surgery on my back. He made me uncomfortable first. Then he took my back out because I was kind of double back on it. And you're never supposed to look back. You're never supposed to look back. And I know when I saw those people hugging you the other day, I did see your last day on the set.
Yeah,
that touched me. Yeah. And they knew that bright light was leaving.
Yeah.
And that's what they knew.
Yeah.
And they wanted to hug. And And I know it touched you because you made some good friends there as well.
Man, yeah.
And you knew that you were going on and you had to do, or you have to do what you have to do. And so when I saw them hugging you and I saw you trying to wipe away the tears and all, but that was a time and you still have those friends. And that's the one thing I always tell people: when you leave a job, you might not think about that job anymore, but you would think about the friends you made. And
Yes.
you will continue to carry those friends to your next job. You'll meet some there. I'll keep on. And then sometimes I will call back, I will call nurses up because I used to sell medicines and being a scientist. And I would call nurses up and some of them my great friends. One's the director of a hospital. She became my good friend. So, and those were different companies down the line. And so you'll take your good friends, the people you met on the set, the people in the community, you're going to continue to make a difference. Absolutely. I already see that. So I'm so excited for you.
And I was shocked to see the community's like response. You know, I don't really think of myself as even like on the news. It just seems like I'm just talking, you know, to a camera. I don't really even think about people being on the other side of it. I kind of just talk, you know. And so to see how much of an impact I had on people was like, I mean, I was like, to say I was touched, it doesn't even, I don't have the words.
Yeah.
Because it was like, I had no idea. I had no idea. I thought I was just going to post, you know, hey guys, I'm leaving, and, you know, get a couple of my friends and family saying, oh, you know, good job. I had no idea that it actually mattered to people, you know? I mean, it was crazy. And, you know, I'll miss those people. Like you become a family almost.
Yeah, that's absolutely.
With the people that you're close with at work, you know, it's like, gosh, I'm not gonna see you again. Yeah. But you know, I've done it so many times. You know, it's every news station. You know, you kind of build a little family, and then you move, and then you move, and then you move, and so it just is, you know, what it is. But to your point, I don't know, when you're talking about your job that you ended up throwing out your back for or hurting your back for, did you like the job? Were there problems with the job? I'm just curious because I have a point, but I gotta ask first.
Yeah. I loved selling medicines. I can tell you that much because being a scientist and working with physicians and nurses and seeing even the front desk people there and seeing patients in the waiting room, and I would see them with bags of medicines. My focus as a scientist is what can I bring to the table for that patient to get well, for that doctor to make a difference, for me to say something that was positive to a doctor's whole day experience. And to answer that question, I loved selling medicines. I did not like the politics behind it.
Okay.
Yeah. And so therefore, when I could take a doctor fishing on a boat, I knew once I had him in the lake fishing, it was no way he could get off that boat because I love to fish. And so therefore, that day I sat there and I was able to really talk medicines. Well, the government took that away from pharmaceutical reps to have that ability to do that type of thing. We just don't be taking doctors out to entertain. I know some might be in there. And I always said I didn't sell sex, I sold science. And so therefore, I always knew this was going to be my path to go into selling medicines. My daddy wanted me to be a physician, a doctor. And I said, Daddy, I don't want to cut on a cadaver. And so I said, but I will sell medicines. Yeah. So with that, it was just the politics behind medicine. It was do this, do that. And I knew some marketing piece that I felt wouldn't make a difference with that doctor because I did research and development. So I was more interested in the little pieces or boxes down at the bottom of a PI, whereby I could explain to the doctor the importance of using a particular medicine for a particular type of patient. And then all the adverse events that might happen that I want to make sure that doctor didn't get sued, nor did the company I work for get sued because I did not give correct information. So therefore, that's why it's time to move on. Okay.
So you're really making my point because I can feel how passionate you were about the job. And I feel like that almost felt like maybe your calling, the type of work that you do, what you were called to, similar to me, similar to you, Brandon. And I feel like there's a trap that we fall into where you get into a job that is letting you hone your skill and what you feel like you're supposed to be doing, but sometimes that job really isn't where you're supposed to be.
Correct.
And I feel like we hold on to that because, well, where am I going to go? What would I do if I wasn't going to do this? Like, even though I don't know if like I like the politics of it for you, and it was kind of like that in my career in the past as well. And you hold on to that job so hard, and it's like, well, do you really think this is the best you can do as you're going through those hard days where it's like, or maybe you don't feel respected, or maybe you feel like something is changed in a way that's going to impact the way you do your job, or maybe you feel like, you're working for someone who is just terrible to you, who's mean to you. Do you really think that this is the best life has to offer? Because we get one shot at life. Do you really want to spend it feeling terrible at work? You have bills to pay. You know what I mean? That's why I'm at work. Not necessarily because I just want to be at work. I want to be on a beach somewhere. You know what I mean? I want to be like in Thailand at one of those resorts. That's where I want to be. I have to be at work. I need a paycheck. Do I have to be treated like this just to get a paycheck?
You're right.
I think a lot of us fall into that trap and think, well, I guess this is just what I have to do. You really don't. And that's where it really like hit me recently, where it's like, man, you can use your skill, what you feel like you have to share with the world, and monetize that somehow. It really just takes a leap of faith. You know what I mean?
It does.
I don't know what I'm doing. I have no clue.
Absolutely.
I have a hope. But I really have faith that what I don't know I'm going to do is going to work.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know what I mean? All you have to do is pour your energy. So I'll just tell you this. The idea here is something called like Lana on location. I really want to travel. I have a Jeep. I want to get in the Jeep. I want to travel around. I want to show people all the cool camping spots, all the cool adventures they could find. I want to drop news videos along the way and just like talk about like what's going on, just like wherever I am on location. You could do a podcast on location. You could do anything. I think you could make money doing that. I hope you could make money doing that. Do I know? I don't know, but I'm taking a leap of faith. I'm gonna see what happens. So I feel like once you just start, that's what I noticed really in this process as well. Like I didn't know anything. I didn't know what it was gonna be or not be. But as I've been taking little steps towards it, other things have fallen into place. Like you reaching out, it came out of nowhere. I'm like, man, I don't know what I'm gonna do, and I'm this is the idea, and I've been trying to put little things in place to get to that point. And then you reach out, hey, do you want to be on my podcast? God, hello. What are the odds? We haven't talked in so long. And other little things will happen where it's like, man, like this fell into place, or somebody gives me an idea where I'm like, that's perfect. I didn't even know you could. I have a vision board. I made a vision board at the start of this year. Make a vision board and believe.
Brandon has always done that.
For 10 years, I've been doing it.
Crazy. And it's crazy how the things on my vision board, I'm watching them come to fruition. And it's almost like it's finding me. And as I've been trying to do things that is in pursuit, I'm looking over there at it, in pursuit of like, how do I live this life? This is my perfect life. This is what, if I could just like create a life and summon it to me, this is what it would look like. And nothing on there. I got pictures of just mountains. I got pictures of, just traveling, eating well, all sorts of Spanish. I got Duolingo and I'm learning Spanish. I'm about to go travel. I'm about to go see mountains. Literally I was in this job where I was just here in Atlanta, and now my vision board is about to be my life. It's crazy. And it just started with some pictures on a board, and I'm like, man, I'm really about to live this. It's crazy. And I never imagined, it even being possible, but here we are. And if I can actually make some money off of it, pay to do what I can do, what I want to do, and setting up my life the way that I want it to be. And anybody can do this. I just feel like anybody, what do you have to offer the world? What can you do? You don't have to work for someone or in a place that you feel doesn't see you, doesn't like appreciate you, doesn't value you. You kind of just feel sometimes like, well, what else would I do? I need a paycheck. You really don't, like, set yourself up to where you can be the person you want to be, live the life. It is possible because you only have one shot. Do you want 50 years to go by and realize, God,
Yeah,
why was I here this whole
absolutely.
time?
No, you're
Because
right.
it's on you.
Yeah,
It's on you. Nobody's going to do it for you. Your boss
absolutely.
wants you to believe there's nowhere else you can go because then you're working there. They don't have to fill the
Absolutely. Yeah,
position. You're the only one who can decide, I think I can, I
yeah,
don't know what it is, but I can do better than this. I don't have to be treated like this.
yeah.
And that's where I think over the years I kind of have gotten to.
Yeah. Well, Lana, first off, I love everything you're saying. I'm going to make this quick because you can do that. You can monetize it. There's one on every job that always gives you a problem. One at every job. I know
Yeah, of
firsthand.
course. Yep.
But I'm going to tell you that. So you can monetize this. When I started doing what I was doing about 2 weeks ago, it took me, I was up for 18 hours, days, and finally 24 hours, 4 days it took me. When Instagram saw what I was doing, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, Instagram, they all reached out to me and they said, hey, Brandon, we want to make you into a content creator. We see that you have that career of 75 TV shows and movies, but we're going to make you a content creator. This new thing opened up in Instagram showing you the fact that, hey, you're eligible, we're inviting you in. A video came, said, welcome to the creators market. What kind of brands do you like? And I took my mom on the phone. It showed us all the brands that you could go through. I'm going to help you to get to there too. And so you're able to do that traveling stuff. So now everything I do, all the times I'm on set, I documented my career for 16 years. So I have all that footage. So the point is that you're able to do that with Instagram and Facebook Basically, when you get to a certain level, which I know what it is, that's why I asked you for your QR code the other day.
Oh, yeah.
So it'll switch over to a business account. So you're going to switch over to a business account if you don't already have that. That QR code I asked you to send me. Okay, basically there's a number we got to get to, which I'll tell you off the line what it is.
Yeah.
And so you'll be able to do what you want to do because then they're going to offer. Instagram, Mark Zuckerberg, Facebook, they'll offer you, hey, we like what you're doing. Welcome to the content creation page. What brands do you like? You select those brands. What kind of exclusive content do you want to do? So the thing that you were talking about is here. I found it out the other day. God blessed me to get it, and I called you shortly after. And so I know how to get you there, like no BS, anything like that. So the Buckle Up universe is part of that whole entire thing that's tied in with that. So like, hence, I'm drinking Canada Dry.
B8.
Drink that Canada Dry and that B8.
I've been doing product placement I've been doing product placement.
This could be you.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I've been drinking. Lana, I had Dr. Pepper. I've been doing product placement and sliding it in the whole time. So, and then I go to Dr. Pepper and I say, hey, look, and they do it by block. So I can advertise with anybody by block. So I've been talking to credit card companies. I've been going into Publix and figuring out what brands I like. I literally have gone and I've literally written them, hey, I have this available to you. What are we going to do here? There's something financially beneficial and mutual beneficial. So where you're heading, all that vision board stuff, we got it. I know how to get there for you. I'm going to tell you exactly as soon as I'm going to text it to you all. But it's possible. What you want to do, you're right. You can be your own boss. And that time is now.
Man.
Yeah, like that. Absolutely. So that's.
Are there any questions you want to ask me about anything? About it?
As a mom, is there
questions you want to ask mom? But I can tell you right now, we as parents are so happy when we see our kids do well because we know if they do well, that's a reflection on that we must have done something right.
Yeah.
And so that makes us feel so happy. And when I see Brandon on TV and when I saw you on TV the other day, I said, wait a minute, that's my kid. I look at, is that my child? I knew he had it in him from a little boy. He had the whole Catholic school. They went to Catholic school in elementary school and middle school. And he had the whole audience in stitches because they did Sister Act. Yeah. And so they did Sister Act. And,
wig and all.
Oh, my God.
I was Whoopi.
I
had a wig on. I wasn't facing the crowd. I didn't know who it was. And then I turned.
What grade? You were in second?
I was in grade. I was in like second or third grade. It brought the house down.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I can imagine.
I was laughing so hard. And I said, I knew that Brandon had it in him, but when he went to high school, he didn't You
I just
did
did
drama.
so I just did football, but my sophomore
Football.
junior year, I was great at football. In my junior sophomore year, I actually got the Anthony Hopkins movie was filming in Virginia, and they actually a casting director saw my photo and like, hey, we're gonna call you. I actually screen tested for a show in high school, but I told him that I'd rather play football.
Yeah, he played.
So I didn't do it. I said I wasn't care. I didn't care about acting. I said I
Wow.
literally was at a screen test for a series I would have been on, and I said I'd rather play football.
Well, did Brandon tell you he walked onto the University of South Carolina?
She knew that.
You knew that?
Yeah. But
I knew that. Yeah.
We don't have to go down
But
that road. Yeah.
I'm so glad he is not doing that, because when I went out there and I saw these big guys, I said, wait a minute, Jesus bringing that other thing he wants to do.
Yeah.
I couldn't have it. No, not that knocking around and all of that. No money is worth losing my child behind somebody. Running behind them and jumping, though he would like to jump on others. And so that's that. But that's what I'm thinking about, how he knew what he wanted to do. And
just like you knew what you wanted to do.
And so it's not a job. It becomes a career.
Yeah.
And that's the one thing, when you find that passion and the thing you love to do, it no longer becomes a job. The money just comes, but you continue to have fun at what you're doing. Absolutely. And so that's what makes me feel so good about you both today.
Absolutely.
And it makes a lot of sense too, because if we're all just put on this earth and we all have something inside of us to give, for me, it's talking, it's trying to, whether I'm trying to help somebody sell something or trying to help somebody get some clean water or whatever it is, like that's what I have to give to the world.
Absolutely.
Then there's a way, like you said, there's a way to monetize it, but I feel like we just get into this mold where it's like, well, I don't know what I have to give to the world. What do you like to do? I feel like everybody should really take stock, because you end up, some people, let's say, work at a grocery store, let's say, and they love it. They love talking to people. They love being there at the door or at the cashier. That's what they want to do. Other people might work at a grocery store and feel stuck. And feel like, I don't know why am I here? I just need the job. Do you have to stay there? No. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because there are people who would love to be in that job, who are waiting for that job, whatever it is. And I feel like if you can do that in your life, then you are winning. You have something innate that you could give the world, and find somewhere that will pay you for it. So if I could say just one thing to people, it would be, don't just stay stuck. Don't feel stagnant. Don't just be somewhere for money, because it's just money. It's just a job. Let the job make you feel like you have to. It's, this is someone else's company. You are busting your butt and feeling terrible, making someone else rich. Are you rich? I'm not rich. You know what I mean? Why are you over here working and feeling like a piece of crap? And every day someone else is on a beach somewhere where you want to be, while you feel bad about yourself working to make them money, and just, so you can take home a measly paycheck. Why don't you go get paid at something you love doing, somewhere you feel valued, somewhere you feel wanted, somewhere you feel like the best, where you are contributing to society, but you don't feel like, man, this is where it's supposed to be a small part of life. One shot at life. Like, let's work somewhere where we feel good about ourselves. And that's why I love what you're doing. That's why I'm trying to get there myself. I don't know how, but
Lana, you are like, looking at you, looking at my mom, you both are examples of hope for people out there, that you can do this. You can follow your dream. You don't have to be. You guys are prime examples. You're the best examples I've ever seen.
Oh, thank you.
And so you guys are examples of that. You don't have to tell people that, because I already see it in both of you. And so you're already doing that. You're a prime example. Everybody that hears this, that sees this, can be like, man, dude, this is what I've been feeling. And I'm seeing two examples, these two beautiful women here who happen to be Black women at that, who are examples of that. If they can do it, I can. Because I've seen someone, I'm close enough to them to know that I can do it too. It's going to take a lot of hard work, deal with a whole lot of people at jobs that give you hard time because they have nothing better to do with their life. But it's possible. And then when you come out on the other side of it, you're better for it. And now you're, reaching back down or helping raise that level with other people. So as you said, we're whales in the ocean. We're specific whales. We're killer whales, which are the apex predator in the top of the food chain. So that is my speech.
Okay.
for today. Lana, you've been wonderful. We can talk to you all day. But
Oh, thanks, guys.
Well, I tell you, I have enjoyed our conversation so much.
Me
You are such an
too.
inspiration to me, inspiration
Oh,
to the million and what
million six
viewers.
Yeah, it'd be half a
yes, count them.
Yes, and these young people trying to decide what they want to do in life, little girls, little guys, and what they want to be, what they can see is possible. It's all possible. And as long as you have breath in your body and a mind to want to do better, you will be the best. Always remember that. So I appreciate you.
Yeah.
You have just been a joy, a delight.
Oh, thank you guys.
Absolutely.
So glad I got a chance to meet Lana.
It takes that special person like Mama Rush. It takes that special person like Lana Harris to do it. And so
thank you guys so much.
You guys are an example. Lana, we'd love to have you back anytime. Literally anytime.
For sure.
We're doing your travel stuff. We're here to help. I'm going to text you everything or email out to you everything. Hand down how to get to that spot where I'm at right now at the monetization thing and all that.
Yeah.
It's not that hard. Really, it's only 100,000 people you got to get to. That's it. 100,000 views.
Just 100,000 people.
No, like 100,000 views, and then you're golden.
Oh, okay.
That's that golden number.
Yeah, let's talk about that. Yeah, because I feel like I should have that at this point. So,
do you have a business profile? Yeah. Have you switched it to a business profile yet? Your page?
I did. I actually got something that popped up the other day. I just don't really know how to navigate it. So I think we should definitely talk. Yeah,
absolutely. And I'm here. I'm here to help. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, ask me about it, and I'll tell you everything I know so far.
Okay. Sweet.
All right.
Okay.
Lana,
perfect.
Thank you so much for today, man. We
Thank
absolutely
you
love this. And you have a wonderful day and safe travels to wherever you go next.
Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. Seriously.
Many blessings over your beautiful life.
You.
Absolutely.
And love that spirit. Keep it up.
You got home and you got to work. That's a huge goal. You went to all these other avenues and then you got back home to work in Atlanta. So that's you've already reached the top.
Okay.
Exactly. So now what's next? And we're figuring it out.
Absolutely.
Onwards and upwards.
All right.
Thanks,
guys. All right, Ilana. Take care. We appreciate you.
Bye.
All right.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
Bye.